This episode of Best Bets is brought to you by BUSR, the official sportsbook of Matt O'Leary NY. Head on over to busr.com/Matt and receive a 150% free play bonus up to $2,500. First deposit only. Get in on the action at BUSR. Hello and welcome back to Best Bets. What is going on? I am Matt O'Leary alongside Newsday's NFL pick columnist Joe Manniello. Joe, how's it going?
Doing good, Matt. How are you?
Doing pretty good. We both had solid weeks last week. We both went 4-2. So you
like the Jets, 4-2 like the Jets.
Love it. We are both getting the fire emojis when I'm tweeting out the graphics this week. Creeping back 15-20-21 so far. You're 20-15-1. So hopefully that success continues here into week 7. That'd be great.
Yeah, should be a good week.
Absolutely. So let's start with the Giants. Out of the locals, they play first. They are taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. They are 3-point underdogs in this game. Who do you like?
I'm taking the Giants here just on the fact that they always seem to find a way to win. So, like we were talking about it just now before we came on about the spread, and it doesn't really make sense, but it does from a Vegas angle. Like the Giants, they're winning. They're winning these games in comeback fashion, and they're being outgained, so that's part of it. And the Jaguars are 2-4. They've lost 3 in a row. They're at home. They're desperate. I think this is going to be an ugly game, grind it out. Maybe like a 2019, 2017 kind of game. But I'm going with the Giants here. I think the X factor is Brian Dable and that coaching staff. They just get better as the game goes on. The Giants have outscored their opponents in the fourth quarter 44-28. I'm pretty sure that's the right number. And this is never out of any game, and I just love their the big blue collar, Dable, the way this defense has played much better than we thought it would. Daniel Jones is making mistakes. Saquon Barkley is a beast, and the Jaguars, they're desperate and all, but they look great in the early season. They were 2-1. They crushed the Chargers. They've come back to earth a little bit, and I'm just not. The narrative is like, oh, the Giants it's going to be a letdown now because they just off 2 huge wins against the Packers and the Ravens. Like, how long can they keep it going? But I don't know. Like, I feel like sometimes we overvalue all that. And like I said, Dable, he's got this team believing. And I think they're going to find another way to win this game. They might be down a touchdown at the half or third quarter, but I trust that he's going to make the adjustments. And I just love what he's doing. So I'm going to pick the Giants solely on the coaching. I think they're the best coach team in the NFL. I don't think that's an overstatement. I mean, 5-1 with this team. They won 4 games last year. And, people say Nick Sirianni's the coach of the year because they're 6-0 right now, but to me, it's Dable and runaway. So I think the Giants find a way here to win an ugly game, 17-13, something like that. So 2017, give me the Giants to keep it going.
Yeah, I agree with you, Joe. I think the Giants keep it rolling. I actually think this is a pretty good matchup for them with, obviously, Trevor Lawrence he started out of the gate a little bit hot, but he's cooled off a little bit the last couple of weeks, and the interceptions have started to come back with him. And I think Wink Martindale is going to be able to get after him a little bit this week and maybe force a couple turnovers, and that's how they are going to be able to win this game. I agree. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game. Neither of these offenses really does a whole lot for me, but I agree with your other take too, with Dable being the coach of the year. No one had the Giants, where they would be right now with 5 wins. This roster was supposed to be, a building year, kind of evaluate who's long-term going to stick around, and they just continue to find ways to win. They somehow beat the Ravens last week. Week before that in London, they beat the Packers, and I don't know if I buy that these teams on a neutral site field are even. I think the Giants, you're getting a little value here with the Giants at +3. I think they continue to roll. I'll take them to win 23-17.
There we go.
How about the Jets and the Broncos? The Jets travel to Denver, and Denver is favored now by 1 point. That spread has come down a little bit. What's the play here, Joe?
Yeah, speaking of surprise teams, I mean, the Jets are right there with the Giants, probably even more surprising because they started 1-2 and they've won 3 in a row. I just love the Jets. I love what they're doing here. The Broncos have a good defense, and it's going to be a close game. It's hard to play in Denver, as we always talk about, but I don't see how you cannot pick the Jets here. The way that defense is playing, Quinn Williams, they've really brought into Coach Salah's smash mouth football. I mean, you see this team. It's just, I mean, Aaron Rodgers looked like, he couldn't believe what happened last week, and the Jets they just look dominant to me. And I just don't see how the Broncos offense, Russell Wilson's banged up, and if it's him or backup Brett Rippon, I don't see them scoring more than 13 points. The Broncos offense is just pitiful. I mean, they play 4 primetime games. So if you're a Jets fan, let's say you're a hardcore fan like us, you watch every game, you're sitting there saying, oh, wow, I got to watch the Broncos in primetime again. The silver lining is that you get to see how bad this team is, so you know your team has a good chance. I mean, just the past week, they jumped out to a 10-0 lead at the Chargers Monday night. And then from there, it was just a disaster. Wilson didn't do anything the rest of the game. And every play, it just seemed like a broken play. He was running for his life. And against this hungry Jets defensive line and the way Sauce Gardner's playing, I just don't see the Broncos putting up points here. But I do think it's going to be a close game. I think I don't fully trust Zach Wilson against this Broncos defense. So I think it's going to be, again, Breece Hall, Michael Carter. I like LaFleur has to call a smart game here. Just, run the ball. Do what you're good at. Don't try to get too cute. Wilson, if the play's not there, throw it away. So I'm a little worried about that. But overall, I love the Jets in this game. I feel like they're just, winning is contagious. They're a young team. They feel great. They're being led by the rookies. 4-2 start here. I think they keep it going here. I think it's a close game. 2013, I'll go 2013 Jets, or maybe even lower scoring, 13-10. I just don't see the Broncos. I don't think they're a good team. I don't like the coach, Hackett. He's shown, he's not ready for prime time, and he's not going to be ready for this game. I think the Jets defense is the difference in this game. I think Breece Hall has another nice game. And the low scoring, Jets win as they get to 5-2.
Love it. And, Joe, we've been doing this for a while, and obviously, here I'm a Jet fan, and I like to try to keep myself as level-headed as possible. But I got to be honest with you, this week, I love the Jets this week. I think this is a good matchup for them. Now, as you said, that defense is legit. That Denver defense is incredible, especially against the pass. They are the hardest team to pass against in the NFL right now. They haven't allowed a passing touchdown since week 2. It's been incredible what they've been able to do. But against the run, they're not as strong. They're like 18th against the run. So that kind of leads into exactly what the Jets want to do offensively. Breece Hall's been phenomenal the last 2 weeks. And this run blocking unit has gotten better with, Laken Tomlinson starting to look like the guard that he was with the 49ers for all those years. Dwayne Brown the last 2 weeks has played a great left tackle. I don't think they asked Zach to throw that much. He only threw 18 times against the Packers. I think you see a very similar kind of game plan where they're just going to come out and dare the Broncos to start the run, to stop the run. And that offense, even if Russell Wilson plays, Joe, I'm not confident that they're going to be able to score. That 20-13 score prediction sounds about right, maybe even lower, like a 16-13 kind of ugly, game-winning field goal towards the end. But I think the Jets are able to get this one done on the road.
Yeah, a lot of people doubting the Jets because I just think they can't believe the Jets are actually a good team. Like, think about it. Last week, if the Jets players were wearing Packers uniforms, right? People will be like, oh, wow, the Packers look great, and then realize, hey, it's us, it's the Jets. I just don't think people can wrap their mind around the idea that the same old Jets are actually a up-and-coming team. So I think that's a big part of it, why people are still doubting them.
Absolutely. So let's keep this thing rolling. Our game of the week is the Chiefs and the 49ers. Chiefs are 2.5-point favorites here. Who do we like?
Yeah, this is a rematch of Super Bowl 54. That game, I still think about that game sometimes because I had the Niners and they should have won that game. We're not going to get into that. But I like the Chiefs here. I just don't feel like I just don't see the Niners. They're getting some key players back on defense, possibly like Bosa and Jimmy Ward might play, and I read Trent Williams might play on offense. It's just that they're banged up, and to me, this is all about Patrick Mahomes. I know it's a simple way of looking at it, but he's 10-3 after a loss in his career, and they lost last week to the Bills. Week before that, they almost lost to the Raiders. I just think they get back on track here. It'll be a close game, similar to the Super Bowl, close to 3 quarters, and then Mahomes, the number one scoring offense in the league. They average just under 30 points. I think they find a way to pull away here in the fourth quarter. I think it'll be a close game, 27-20, something like that, 31-24. But I'm not picking against Mahomes after a loss. So simple as that. Chiefs -2.5.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm right there with you on the Chiefs this week. Obviously coming off a loss against the Bills and a game that they played really tough. I think that one lived up to the hype last week. It was a good game. And I think they bounce back here. The 49ers, I just don't think they're going to have enough offensively to keep pace here with the Chiefs. Now, their defense has been good, and like you said, they're getting some players back, but I still don't I don't think it's enough. I think Kansas City is the better team. And like you said, in Super Bowl 54, it was a game they probably should have won, but unfortunately, I think Jimmy G's limitations hurt them in that game, and I think it's going to hurt them here.
And that hole that they didn't call on the Tyreek Hill play.
Yes, that too. Obviously, that one still bothers you, I think, Joe. I don't know.
It was one of the worst non-calls I've ever seen, but not going to call against the Chiefs, I guess.
Love it, but yeah, I think the Chiefs bounce back here in a big way and win this one pretty handily against the 49ers. So, how about a best bet this week?
Yeah, so interestingly, the three games I like the best are the Jets, Chiefs, and this one, which I like the best. When I looked at the schedule last week, I always like to look ahead a week. When I saw this game, it popped out to me. I don't care that it's the big spread. The New England Patriots at home Monday night against the Chicago Bears. They're laying, I think, 8.5 now, 7.5, 8 points.
7.5.
Yeah, I mean, I love the Pats in this game. Bill Belichick's defense against Justin Fields' offense, it feels like such a mismatch. Almost feels too good to be true. But I just don't see the Bears scoring double digits here. I have it like 27-3. I think it's a blowout. Patriots defense played great the last 2 weeks. They should shut out the Lions, who were the highest scoring team. Yes, they had some injuries at the time, but still to shut them out, really impressive. And last week they went into Cleveland, which is a mess, but they have some talented players, and they beat them 38-15. Pretty sure that was the score. And Belichick's doing a great job. I don't believe in his team having a letdown Monday night game. The Bears. If you watched that Thursday night game last week, Justin Fields. I mean, maybe it's part of the offense, maybe it's the Bears, but he overthrew a wide open guy in the end zone. Just Bears offense looks like it's just worst of the worst here. With the Panthers maybe. And I just don't trust them going into a hostile environment like that and keeping it close. I think this is a blowout, and I don't care who starts for Patriots at quarterback. I think just like I said, 27-3. Lock of the week, lock it up. Pretty easy pick for me.
Yeah, I'm with you. They could the Patriots could want to run a wildcat on every play like it's 2009, and I'd still take them. I have no faith in that Bears offense. I agree with you. I think this one gets ugly on Monday night. I'm gonna go, and you gave me the business when I told you this one, but you're gonna have to do it again. The Packers -4.5 as my best bet. They've looked.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I actually switched them. I actually switched to the Packers, but I don't know about that. I don't like this game at all. But go ahead. Sorry.
I think there's no way that they have a letdown 3 weeks in a row, and this is more of an anti-Commanders pick. Obviously, they're turning the keys over to Heineke now, as Wentz shockingly is banged up. But I have zero faith in this Commanders team. I think they are atrocious, like really, really bad. And the Packers, I think, have an opportunity here. They're going on the road, so I think that actually might help them in this spot where they're kind of getting away from their home and like all the pressure at home and winning in Lambeau. And just I think they take care of business here and win this one going away like 30-17, something like that.
Oh, okay, I think it's gonna be a close game, but I think the Packers too, just because I agree. I don't trust the Commanders, and I feel like Packers have to realize whatever they're doing is not working. They got to figure it out now. After the Jets and Giants, you got to realize, hey, we got to switch it up. So this is a good spot for them, but I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a really close game, like 2014, 27, 20, something really close. I think the Packers aren't just going to dominate anybody the way they're playing.
All right, and then how about an underdog this week? What jumps out?
Underdog. Hold on, I'm forgetting my pick here for a second. You go first. I'm forgetting my pick.
Okay, I'm gonna take the Texans +7. They're facing the 1-4 Raiders, and I know the Raiders are off a bye. I understand that, but I don't think the Raiders should be favored by 7 points over anybody. I don't care how poor the Houston Texans have been. Obviously, they are in a year where they're probably looking for a top pick and potentially a quarterback early in the draft, but I don't have any faith in this Raiders team. I know they almost surprised everyone and beat the Chiefs a couple weeks ago, but I don't know. I really don't trust this team. I think the Texans keep it close, a lower scoring kind of game, 24-20. Texans have kind of gave some teams a little trouble at times. Again, I don't think the Raiders are a 7-point favorite over anybody, so it's more of an anti-Raiders pick for me, but I think the Texans keep it close.
I agree. I'm taking Texans for the same reason. I agree. The line's too high. I mean, even the Raiders are capable of winning this game by 2 touchdowns, but they've shown that they always shoot themselves in the foot. So I don't trust them either. So I agree with the Texans pick. And my pick, I can't believe I forgot it. Seahawks +6.5 at Chargers.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh no, 6 now.
Oh, 6. I'm not sure why I forgot it there. Just a little brain fart, I guess. But yeah, the Seahawks. I mean, they've been one of the most impressive teams. Geno Smith. whoever had him outplaying Russell Wilson in their NFL bingo card. I mean, it's pretty amazing the way he's played. Leads the league in completion percentage, 73.4%. Kenneth Walker, rookie running back, playing well. And I mean, Pete Carroll, you like to joke about him and the Super Bowl decision he made, but he really motivates his players. And the fact that they're 3-3 to me is one of the best stories of the year. And they play the Giants next week, I'm pretty sure, so that should be a good game. But I like them here. 6 points. I think the Chargers find a way to win. But I wouldn't be shocked if the Chargers lost this game. To me, the Chargers is such a weird franchise.
Yeah,
they're like the cooler version of the Browns. Or it's like they're always blowing these games. Or last week they fall behind 10-0 at home against the Broncos, and they come back to a 19-16. And I don't know, they always play close games. It's amazing. Like if you look back at the last 2-3 years, they're always in these down to the wire games. All 4 of their wins have been decided by 5 points or fewer, I'm pretty sure. Oh, no, they beat the Texans by 10, but that was a close game. All 4 of their wins have been, the toss-up in the fourth quarter. It's been like a back-and-forth game. I just don't trust them to blow anyone out. And Seattle has playmakers. The defense isn't that great, even though last week they held the Cardinals to 9 points somehow. But I don't see Chargers blowing anyone out. And Geno Smith has played great. You got DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. They have offensive weapons. I think this is a shootout, like a really high-scoring game, like 38-35 kind of game.
Oh, wow.
34-31. I think it's going to be a ton of points. And I just don't trust the Chargers in a big spot, similar to the Raiders. I don't see why. They're another team that's, very like cool. They're like a cool team. They got the cool jerseys. They got the cool, good-looking quarterback. They got the coach that goes to 4th down from his own one. They're like a cool team, but it doesn't add up on Sunday. So they're another underachieving team to me. Even though they're 4-2, it's hard to say that they're 4-2, but they haven't been impressive at all. They could easily be 2-4. So I love the Seahawks here getting 6.5 points. I think they could win the game, but I'll take the Chargers for a close win and Seattle cover.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you there. I think the Seahawks and it wouldn't shock me if the Seahawks win this game outright, even just because, as you said, the Chargers are so unpredictable. But for our bonus, we're gonna go a little head to head. I like this. So we've done this in the past. We're picking the Titans and the Colts. What side of the aisle are you on this one?
So Titans is what, 2.5 now? Is it 3?
2.5.
I'm taking the Colts here. Early before the season started, we did our picks, and I picked the Colts to win the division, and I said that the Titans were overrated. And even though they've won 3 in a row, including a win over the Colts in Week 4, but the Titans, to me, they're a weird team. I mean, all their wins have been close. And I was reading up on another picker, I think, had it for CBS Sports. He said, I double-checked to make sure it was right. Can you believe this stat? I told you couldn't believe it. The Titans have not scored a point in the fourth quarter the whole season. 5 games for the 75 minutes. They haven't scored a point in the entire fourth quarter. To me, that's just so odd. They're the opposite of the Jets and Giants. And it's like, I don't trust them. And the Colts, even though they looked awful in the first month, but last week they had a huge comeback win against Jacksonville. Matt Ryan played great. And I feel like that's the kind of win we can carry it over. You beat a division rival that beat you already. The Jaguars dominated them in Week 2, come back and beat them. And now the same thing. Titans beat them in Indy in Week 4. Now they get a chance. It's weird scheduling that you get to have. Titans have basically, the Colts have basically played their whole 6, they played 5 or 6 division games by Week 7. It's kind of weird. But I think this is a great chance for the Colts to show, to live up to the preseason hype. Matt Ryan and Frank Reich, they seem to got something going on there. They're getting a little bit healthier. And, there's a reason to take the Titans. They're 4-0 after the bye under Vrabel. They've beaten the Colts 4 in a row. There's definitely a reason to pick them. I know that's why you're going to pick them. But I just feel I feel like this could be a turning point in the Colts season. And I just don't trust the Titans in a close game. Like I said, in the fourth quarter, they haven't done anything. So I think it's a really close game. The witching hour, you'll see this game a lot in the NFL Red Zone. But I'm going to give me the Colts to win the game outright. 2.5 isn't, not a lot of points. I'm taking them to win the game outright. Really close game. 24-21, 24-23, something like that. Colts win.
All right. I'm going to go with the Titans. And as you said, a little birdie told me that 4-0 after the bye. They are under Vrabel. I love that. They've been playing really good football. They started 0-2, lost a surprising one to the Giants, at the time surprising one to the Giants, got their doors blown off in Buffalo, and then 24-22, 24-17, 21-17, 3 wins in a row heading into the bye. I think they're finding their footing a little bit. And I don't trust Indianapolis yet. I know they had a nice win this past week against Jacksonville where they put up 34 points, but before that their offense really hasn't done a whole lot. 12, 17, 20, 0, 24, 20, the tie against the Texans in week 1. I don't know. They still have to prove it to me. I'm not quite there. I too picked the Colts before the season started to win that division, but right now they haven't shown enough for me. They're sitting at 3-2-1 so far through the first 6 games, but this is a tough matchup. They obviously they lost 24-17 to the Titans the first time. I think this is a closer game. I'm going to say they just covered the number. They win this one 23-20.
Okay.
All right, so let's run through these real quick. For the Giants and the Jaguars, we are both on the Giants +3. Jets, Broncos, Jets +1. Both Joe and I like the Jets. Chiefs, 49ers, game of the week. Chiefs -2.5. Both Joe and I are on the Chiefs. Best bet, Pats -7.5 is Joe's. Mine is the Packers -4.5. Underdog, Seahawks +6 for Joe. Me, Texans +7. And then our head-to-head bonus picks, I am going with the Titans -2.5, and Joe is going with the Colts +2.5.
Just a reminder, your Titans almost lost to your hated Commanders. They got lucky with a goal line interception against Wentz in the final play of the game. So they're not, we'll see.
This is true. We will see. Good luck this week, Joe. Thanks for coming on as always, and we'll talk again soon.
Great job. Thanks, man.